You've got one life to live, don't let it go. You've got one life to live. She's singing. You've got one life to live, don't let it go.
Alright guys, welcome to another Put the Power Down video. In today's video, we are in a 2004 Mitsubishi EVO MR. Now starting off with the outward appearance of this car, you have a very nice aggressive look in front of the car. As you go over to the sides of the car, you have these nice BBS wheels. You can also see the Brembo brakes that come in the car with the red calipers. You can see them up front, and you can definitely tell that this car is a car that looks small, but also has, in a way, a sports car feel and look to it before you even get inside of the vehicle. As going to the back, you also have this nice big end. You have the EVO badges, of course, your Mitsubishi badges back there. You also have these very nice exhaust tips that are back there. And I'll get to the exhaust later in this video because this exhaust on this vehicle in particular is not stock, and it does sound pretty good. Now back on the outward appearance of this car. Now, of course, it is in this very nice white color. And this car also, in my opinion, has a style design going on with it that does stick out from the rest of the cars that you see on the rest of the road. Like I said, this thing, I think, in my opinion, is very aggressive. And you know, if someone's driving in front of you, they're looking in the rear view, they're going to see a very mean face because the front of the end of this car is very mean and aggressive. Now on the inside of the car, you of course have these very nice Recaro bucket seats that are heated, by the way. And I mean, these things hug you very, very nicely. I'm about 5'9", and I can fit in these things very easily. I weigh about 150 pounds. And I can still slide around nice enough to be comfortable, but I could definitely tell that these seats would hold me in if I'm doing any track events, whether I be on a road course, I'm just on some back roads in the mountains, just having fun with the car. These seats would definitely hold you in if you're doing something like that. Also, inside of the car, you have this very nice touch screen that I think is very fast and responsive. It displays your stuff that you would expect, so like your radio, your navigation, and stuff like that. You can dim it, you can change it to where if it's bright during the day and you want the screen to be a little brighter, or if you want to be a little dimmer at night, you can also adjust that. Now, also discussing this touch screen, you also have a very, very nice audio system. Now, I can't play it for you guys through the mic because depending on what device you're watching this video on, you might not be able to tell. But if you come to Capitol Ford here in Charlotte, North Carolina, look at this car and turn up the volume just a bit, you can definitely hear the bass, the subwoofer that is in the trunk. I think that the audio system in this car is very nice to listen to, and I think it's one out of the two things. And the second thing that I'm going to talk about is exhaust, but I'll get to that later on in the video. Now, of course, you also have your steering wheel and the driver's seat. It's very nice to grab onto. It feels very grippable. If you're driving on back roads, you'll definitely have plenty of grip when you're grabbing onto the steering wheel. You also have your nice paddle shifters because this car is equipped with a 6-speed automatic. And behind the steering wheel, you also have this very nice gauge cluster. Of course, it tells you how much gas you have left. Your simple stuff like miles per hour, your RPMs, because like I just said, you do have these paddle shifters and you want to know when to shift and whatnot. And the vehicle also displays what gear you'll be in. So if I'm in sport mode here, it's going to show me that I am in first gear, second gear, all the way up to sixth gear because this is a 6-speed automatic. Now, as far as storage goes in this car, you have these two compartments that are right here in front of your shifter that are fairly small. You can probably fit a phone or a wallet in there. You also, of course, have your armrest here that has some storage right there. And of course your glove department. Now, none of these compartments are terribly deep, and this also brings me to the trunk. Now, of course, you have that nice subwoofer that I was talking about with the audio system. Now, that does take up some space, and as a whole, this is a very small trunk because this is a compact car. So I think that if you are looking to have a lot of things in trunk, or if you're going to go on a long road trip, you definitely have to pack, I guess, accordingly to the size of this car, because it is it would hold you back, especially if you do have a car full and the back seat is full and you only can use the trunk, then you kind of would be limited on space. But other than that, everything else I think in this vehicle is very nice. And here's what the vehicle looks like from the driver's perspective. Of course, you have the paddle shifter and here's what the vehicle looks like from the driver's perspective. Of course, you have the paddle shifters like I was talking about earlier. Had the very nice infotainment center right here, and I'm just going ahead and start up the vehicle right now so you guys can see what it looks like. As you can see what I was talking about earlier, it will display what gear you are in right there, where the park is. I put it in reverse. There goes neutral, there goes drive, and then if we hit the shifters, 1, it shows that you are in first gear right there. Throw it back in the park. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start up the Evo and we're gonna take it out on the drive, because I definitely do think that this is a car that if you are into cars and you like driving a lot, this is something that you will probably really want to look into. Let's go ahead and start her up. You definitely do have this very nice startup sound, and I'll let you guys, I'll put an exhaust clip of what it sounds like in the back, because this exhaust does sound nice. Now let's go ahead and take it out on the road here, and I'll tell you guys how it drives, how it shifts, and let you guys know what the power feels like in this car. And we're gonna go ahead and get on the highway here for a second. I will use the paddles to go ahead and give you guys an idea what those feel like and exactly what the acceleration is in this car. But I can tell you before I get on the highway here that this does have a very nice smooth ride to it. I mean, even though, like I did say, even though it is a performance car, it does still ride smooth, and it is kind of hard to find in some other cars that are performance oriented, a car that rides smooth and can still actually do what it's supposed to do. So we're gonna go ahead and drop down gears here and go ahead and roll on into it. Now, the reason why I'm smiling is this car definitely has, if you can't hear that, this car definitely has some get up and go to it. Very nice spunk. Just from doing that, I can definitely tell you that the car moves, and let's go ahead and get onto it a little more. Guys, this thing now really does move. I can tell you this car would be a lot of fun if you're on back roads. This car from the factory comes with around 291 horsepower. Now that is at the crank. Now I'm not sure exactly what this vehicle is making, because under the hood, it does have a quarter air intake, and a front-mounted intercooler is on this vehicle. So the previous owner of this car probably did change it a little, but I can tell you that this car is making a decent amount of power over its stock form. Another thing that I also love about this vehicle is the blow-off sound that you get from the turbo. In these downshifts, I mean, the crackles and pops that this exhaust has is just very nice. We're gonna go ahead and give it a little roll on here in the first. And when those turbos spool up, and this thing shifts very nice and fast. This thing sounds really good, and I can definitely tell you that this is a fun car just from driving it, not even pushing it too hard, and this thing definitely gets up and moves. It definitely has some power to it, and anyone who really has an Evo, they'll tell you that they're a lot of fun. And this car is also equipped with all-wheel drive, so the all-wheel drive is basically all the wheels are receiving power from the engine. And so if you're like in a snowy condition or anything that might be more slick or wet terrain, then this car would definitely be suited for someone like you. Just listening to this car, just downshifting like that, just puts a smile on my face. I really like cars, and you know, like I said, if you like cars, this is definitely a car that you would be into, especially for the driving aspect of it. And I can tell you now that some people are looking, because this car, you know, I wouldn't say it's awfully loud, but it does have a very nice presence, especially in the exhaust note. I'm gonna go ahead and get it going here again. Exhaust making some sound back there. This thing is very nice, very fast too. And the thing I like most about this car is I'm not a professional race car driver or anything like that, and I can tell you that this car is still very easy to handle. You know, you don't have to be someone who's professional or like I just said, a race car driver. You can still definitely drive this thing. And I'm doing 60 miles an hour here, and I'll tell you guys, I'm in 6th gear right now, and even though the exhaust is kind of on the louder side when you're in the gas, it's still a quiet car. There's no drone to this thing at all, really. And you know what, if the exhaust is too loud for you, like I mentioned earlier, all you can do is just turn up this very nice sound system that you have, and you can tune that right out. So wrapping up my time here with the 2014 Mitsubishi EVO, I'll tell you that this is definitely a car that did surprise me. You know, I'm not really So wrapping up my time with the 2014 Evo, I will tell you that this car definitely did surprise me what it can do. You know, I knew that these cars were performance cars from the beginning, but I didn't know exactly what to expect. And if you're someone who is like me, this is kind of your first time looking at an Evo, or if it's going to be your first time being in an Evo, I can tell you that this is actually a pretty nice car with the interior, everything that you get with this, with the heated seats, very nice hugging seats that hug you for performance as well if you're driving on back roads, like I said earlier in the video. You know, this car has a lot to offer, especially for a very reasonable price. And of course, if you want to check this vehicle out, you can go over to Capital Ford here in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're great guys. They can work out pricing with you. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here, guys. Like I said, this vehicle is definitely a blast to drive. It is pretty fast. It gets up and goes. Especially the fact that it's not at its stock form right now. Probably making a little bit more power over stock. Probably not too much, but it's still very easy to handle, like I said. So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Be safe and be holy.